Bullseye Movies breaks down this news from the team. In many ways, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage represents a conscious shift away from the genius-centric storytelling that defined its predecessor. The show is grounded in adult responsibilities, family conflict, and the messy realities of marriage, parenthood, and financial survival. Sheldon's hyper-intellectual worldview simply doesn't fit naturally into that framework. However, Sheldon's absence also creates a notable narrative gap, particularly when it comes to his relationship with Georgie. Longtime fans of The Big Bang Theory know that the brothers' bond deteriorates significantly over the years. By the time audiences meet adult Georgie in the flagship series, the two barely speak, harboring years of resentment and unresolved conflict. The end of Young Sheldon didn't fully bridge that emotional gap. When Georgie and Sheldon last interacted, they appeared to be on relatively decent terms. Their relationship was still awkward and marked by familiar sibling friction, but there was no indication of the deep animosity that would later define their dynamic. That disconnect has lingered. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage had an opportunity to explore the gradual breakdown of their relationship in real time. Instead, Sheldon's off-screen status makes it impossible to directly depict that evolution. Still, Episode 10 demonstrates that the show doesn't need Sheldon physically present to lay the groundwork for that eventual fallout. The seeds of the brothers' estrangement are being planted quietly, through absence rather than confrontation. Mary's role in the episode is especially telling. As the only Cooper family member who chooses to visit Sheldon during Christmas, she becomes his primary point of connection to Texas. She is the one who updates him on Georgie's life, Missy's growth, and the general state of the family. This dynamic naturally reinforces Sheldon's closeness to Mary over time. She makes the effort to see him, to stay involved, and to maintain that emotional bridge. Georgie, on the other hand, is increasingly tied down by responsibilities. He has a wife, a child, and a business to run. Traveling across the country is no longer simple or affordable. From Georgie's perspective, Sheldon's absence begins to feel personal. Sheldon doesn't come home. He doesn't make the effort. Over time, that perceived indifference hardens into resentment, especially when Georgie feels overwhelmed by obligations Sheldon doesn't share. Missy's relationship with Sheldon follows a different trajectory. As she grows older, her interests begin to align more naturally with opportunities in California. College life, parties, spring break trips, and independence all offer incentives for her to visit Sheldon at Caltech. While they remain fundamentally different people, proximity and convenience keep their bond intact. Georgie, meanwhile, moves in the opposite direction. The older his daughter CC gets, the more demanding his life becomes. Free time disappears. Travel becomes impractical. Each passing year makes it less likely that he will ever visit Sheldon on his turf. Eventually, the distance between the brothers becomes mutual blame. Sheldon may view Georgie as uninterested or dismissive. Georgie sees Sheldon as selfish and detached. Neither takes responsibility for maintaining the relationship, and the silence between them grows louder. By the time The Big Bang Theory introduces audiences to adult Georgie, that silence has hardened into years of unspoken bitterness. When the brothers finally confront each other in Season 11's The Sibling Realignment, the emotional weight of their reconciliation suggests a long history of disappointment and misunderstanding. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage may never show that deterioration explicitly, but it doesn't need to. Episode 10 proves that the show understands exactly where this story is heading. By choosing absence over confrontation, it allows the rift to develop organically. In that sense, Sheldon's underwhelming non-return is not a failure of storytelling, it's a deliberate narrative choice. The show is less interested in revisiting Sheldon's past than it is in exploring how his absence reshapes the lives of those he left behind. While fans may continue to hope for a surprise cameo, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage makes it increasingly clear that Sheldon Cooper's role in this chapter of the Cooper family saga will remain largely off-screen. His presence will be felt in missed holidays, unreturned visits, and growing emotional distance rather than in punchlines or guest appearances. And in doing so, the series quietly and effectively sets the stage for the fractured sibling relationship audiences already know is coming, without ever needing Sheldon to step back into the frame.